I mean, for me, it kind of comes more through not earning enough in your normal kind of wages in the first place and having to pick up extra jobs in the weekend. You know, someone said, oh, come in, we'll pay you for 8 hours work, and it's ended up being like a 20-hour job, and just, you know, the rates and the capacity for exploitation there is massive and disproportionately affects our Māori and Pasifika communities, the folks who are working in construction and tradies who are often and constantly pushed to, oh yeah, just come in on the weekend, just do an extra, you know, a couple hours here and there. You know, I've seen my little brother work 21 days straight without a break because he's just trying to get the job done before the end of the year and all this other stuff, you know, these kind of pressures there. And it involves, coming in and working on the weekends. You sometimes feel ashamed that, like, the only thing that we can offer value is our capacity to just do extra work for people, you know? Like, it seems like that's the only way in which we can be valued in these communities and groups is by doing that little bit extra work, and, oh yeah, you don't mind coming in on the weekend to do that, and this, that kind of push and pull on that attitude of just wanting to help out, of just like, yeah, okay, let's get the job done. That's utilized or weaponized by employers to put us in situations where we are being exploited, absolutely. We're full, complete human beings, like we have families and stuff, but constantly through these systems are just reduced to only being able to, oh yeah, you can come work on the weekend because you're not doing anything, you know? We like to portray ourselves as progressive in New Zealand. You know, the he waka eke noa kind of mentality. We're all in this together. We're all this collective identity, I think, has really come to the forefront, particularly again with COVID-19 and things. But it's also a collective identity which is absolutely undermined and marred by the fact that there are people who are just absolutely valued less in society for their work and for their labor. It's all very good to say we're all on the same boat, but if, you know, we're not getting looked after the same as everyone else who's in the boat, will we be putting in as much effort? Should we be putting in as much attention and things? And I think, you know, the policymakers and government and the like would like us all to buy into that notion of working together and coming together, but it's gonna take people coming to meet us halfway and actually pay people properly, you know, pay people according to their labor and start to close this gap. It's probably going to need an honest conversation to happen in New Zealand around racism, around anti-Pasifika sentiments. I mean, you're fighting an uphill battle, right? Like, as you know, being any part of these kind of minority demographics, there's this already assumption that you're not going to be working as hard or not as capable as other workers. That kind of structural racist and ableist and gendered belief systems absolutely need to be challenged and overturned. And I think starting with an inquiry, starting with figuring out how things are, where they are, what the actual state of things is really, really important for starting that conversation at least. We know that Pasifika earn the least. If we can start to bring them up, if we can start to bring the bottom up, then everyone will come together, you know? We need as many allies as possible. We make up these communities. We're in the unions. We're queer. We're disabled. We all need to be working together and lifting each other up. And that comes through being honest about the situation, through being honest about how things are structured first, and then looking at solutions and ways to change things and make them better. Even if you don't think that there's a pay gap, we still want to hear from you. We still want your experiences in that respect, because it's part of this whole image that the inquiry is trying to build, which is the full, complete image of the pay gap. If you think that you've been all good and you've been earning sweet, we still want to hear from you. We still want to have those conversations and find out how things are going for you, because that's the full nature of an inquiry is to hear all the responses. And if you have experienced pay gaps and stuff, we really want to hear from you. We definitely want to be there and know what's happening and start to help foster solutions with you, with Pasifika workers, with our communities, to really overcome and challenge this, because it needs to be overturned. We need to close this pay gap.